Alright guys, so today I'm going to be bringing to you a chest and back workout, and just to preface this workout itself, recently I've been doing the MI40 Hypertrophy Execution Mastery program, and I did that for about 2 weeks, and the beginning of the program was really focused on refining exercise execution and doing it very frequently. So the first module was chest and back focused. So I was hitting all muscle groups with chest and back, especially maybe even a little more. So everything I was hitting it at least twice, chest and back twice, if not 3 times a week. So I was able to refine my exercise execution by being able to hit it frequently, hit it effectively, and with as little volume as possible to really maximize each set. So now I switched a little bit back toward my traditional split with a little bit more frequency. So I've been doing delts and arms together, a full leg day, and chest and back. So today was chest and back, and I've got to a point where I'm able to execute my exercises very well, and now the load is starting to come back, and it's right where I want it to be, right where I expected it to be. So I selected 4 exercises for chest, 4 exercises for back, keeping it really simple and with a lot of staples that I use in most of my workouts. So I started with chest and started with incline dumbbell press, working up to 2 working sets, followed by 2 drop down sets, working at about a 20 to 30 degree angle, and then moving to reverse band incline Smith machine press. You might think 2 inclines back to back, but because of the reverse band, I really like to throw it in. It's a great exercise, and it doesn't give you the exact same strength profile. So it's another opportunity for me to beat up those upper chest fibers, which mine tend to be lacking in terms of my overall pec development, but to do it in a much more even strength curve. Then I moved on to a decline hammer strength press. I trained at Brown's Gym in Clark Summit today, and they have a really good decline hammer strength. Allows myself to line up my upper arm with those lower pec fibers, and I worked up to 2 working sets and a back off on there as well, followed by the Pec Deck, doing 2 working sets with the neurological overload set. And what I did with the Pec Deck is a lot of people don't necessarily understand that just because it's one motion on one machine doesn't mean that it only has one path or one range of motion or one area of the muscle that you could target. So simply by changing your sternal angle on a Pec Deck, you're able to influence different areas of your chest. So my goal today was to really open up my sternum, sit back, keep my blades far back, and lean a little bit more forward on the seat with my hips to allow myself to influence those lower pec fibers following the decline hammer strength press. So that is the body positioning I did, and I actually didn't get this one on film, so you guys won't see that. And then I transitioned to back. Started with a 1-arm hammer strength iso row, a staple for lats to open. Really good profile. Hits the lats well in a shortened position and allows me to load appropriately after my priming to get a really good stimuli. Then I moved on to seated cable rows with the MAG grip, maximum advantage grip, to allow myself to be able to get my elbows to my sides and really be able to wrap around toward my spine. 2 working sets on the hammer strength iso row before that as well. 2 working sets on seated cable row, and then I moved to a hammer strength isolateral pull down machine, which again allows me to influence my elbow path from the lengthened position to the shortened position. This allows myself from a vertical pull to allow me to drive my elbow to the ground, and then once I get it even with my body, again, think about that wrapping motion to try to get my elbow, or more specifically my humerus, toward my spine. And then I finished up with an upper or middle back movement, the lying T-bar row. Allows myself to be stable, to be very braced against the pad, and allow my elbows to be flared to influence the rhomboids, the traps, and even some rear delt. So a really simplistic workout. It's for when you only have a few exercises per muscle group, your exercise selection, number 1, must be key. So I really broke it down to the exercises that I know work well for me and are well thought out. Also, knowing that you only have a few exercises and a few sets per exercise, you know your execution and your effort must be on point. So that's what I just recently posted about on my Instagram, the two factors, execution and effort, and how people tend to lean more toward one side versus the other, but you really have to realize that they work hand in hand, and they must work hand in hand for you to achieve the maximum result. So I'm going to follow this up with all the exercise execution videos, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So I started the chest portion of today's workout with incline dumbbell presses. This is the top set here. I did 2 working sets, and the second set I decided to go to the 110-pound dumbbells that I got for 5 reps. And the hundreds on the first set felt really good, so with the form, a little slip on the last rep, but other than that, it looked pretty good, and I was able to grind those out. So then after that, I transitioned to the reverse band incline Smith machine presses, and with a few warm-up sets, I worked up to 2 top sets of 205 with the reverse band, and I was working at about the 8 rep range here, and then following that, I would drop down to do only 1 drop-off set with the reverse band Smith with 185. So those are the first 2. Those have been pretty much the first 2 movements of the majority of my recent chest workouts. And then after that, I transitioned to a decline hammer strength press. You'll see, as always, I use the fat grip when I'm racking the weight to save my shoulders a little bit at the extreme bottom. And I really do like this machine at Brown's Gym. It allows me to keep my sternum very open and line my upper arm pad up really well with those lower branching pec fibers. So I did 2 working sets here with a drop-off set, and I was up to two plates and a 25, getting between 8 and 10 reps on my 2 workings, and then dropped down to 2 plates for my drop-off set. And I actually didn't film the Pec Deck, which was my last chest exercise. And after that, I transitioned to the back portion of the workout, and I started with my usual standing hammer strength 1-arm iso row. After a few warm-up sets to get myself going, get all my priming and my lats, I worked up to 3 plates on my 2 working sets, got about 7 reps, and then went with a few partials. This is a great exercise that if you train with a partner, you'll have a spot, because it really doesn't take much from your training partner. It can just give you that little push when you get to that sticking point that you'll see I hit. But since I was training alone, I was just able to do some partial reps on top of hitting muscle failure in the shortened position. So 2 sets of this, then I actually did 2 back offs to 2 and a 25, and then 2 to start out the back portion of the workout. Today's back workout was mainly lat focused with a little bit of upper back. You'll see that at the end with my last exercise, and I'm really happy with my total exercise efficiency, each rep being executed well, and the loading parameters following that match up really well to allow myself to be able to select only a few exercises per muscle group, and then allow myself to pair some muscle groups together and allow myself to get more total volume in per workout. So after that, I went to seated cable rows using the maximum advantage semi-pronated grip. I really like this grip because it allows myself to be able to get my elbow to my side and then allow it to be wrapped around and really bring the insertion closer to the origin of the lat. So 2 sets of these, and then my last set was a neurological overload set, so that was a triple drop. Worked, I believe it was 100 pounds on the stack for about 8 reps, 2 sets there, no back offs. And then back to a hammer strength isolateral pull down plate load. This is one of the machines that really struck me when I first trained at Brown's. Really allows myself to be able to first bury that elbow into the ground, and then once I get it near my hip, be able to wrap and get it fully short from a vertical pulling position. So I worked up to 2 plates on this, doing 2 working sets. Didn't do any kind of intensity principle, and didn't do any back offs. So this is the last lat exercise for back. I did my iso rows, a heavy plate loaded row to start, overloading the short position. Not necessarily that it would only overload the shorten. I could have definitely selected a way to allow myself to move more in the lengthen range. As you guys saw in my last video, there are some benefits of producing more force in the lengthen range, but I would just stick to my guns and do some shortened range overload to start. Then cable rows with some triple drop set on my second set, and then I moved to the pull down. So a little bit of everything, all looking at the bracing, the profile, and the accuracy of each exercise before I selected them. And that goes back to the 3 keys of exercise selection. You guys can check that video out if those 3 terms seem a little bit strange, but it's really simple once you really look at it, and it really boils down to those 3 things. And here's my final exercise. First time doing these in a while. The lying T-bar row really allows myself to flare my elbows and contract my middle and upper back, my traps, rhomboids, and even getting some rear delt action in there. So I did 2 sets here, and then my second set was another neurological overload set. So that'll conclude the chest and back workout. And the high frequency training of late really does have a benefit, and I really have been reaping the benefits of the combined high frequency with effective volume training. So I hope you guys like this one, and be sure to check out my other workouts and other videos as well.